Let's talk about value today. I'm getting the message to talk about value and how there's so much unlearning that we have to do in remembering and coming back to truth in terms of our divinity and how wholeness, completeness is completely accessible and available to us in every now moment, in being that frequency, in creating that within us, in broadcasting and radiating that as our own inner heaven being signaled out to the universe, and therefore creating that in the ripple effect across the planet and generating and creating that in our reality. And being in the world but not of the world, there is in this contribution and how our unique soul frequency contributes to the planet by mere existence, just through your I am. You're here, you exist, and therefore you have tremendous value. There is a sense of contributing value and showing up and offering value in how you are the truest, fullest expression of yourself, and how everything else that you require and desire will be a byproduct of you providing that value. Specifically, if it's from the heart, it's from pure intention, it's consciously chosen in how you do that. And that can be in any capacity, in any role. And it's all subjective as to what value is being contributed and the value of the value being offered. And I want to speak about this because I've had clients come to me recently in feeling either one of two things where they're wanting to control something on the outside or struggling with boundaries, with letting go and with unattaching in terms of unlearning, unattachment, attachment to outcomes or things having to be a certain way from an energy of fear and control, of worry and anxiety, of neediness, of unworthiness, whatever it is that comes up that just feels lower vibrational, that doesn't feel good. There's a need to manipulate or control or influence something outside of you and not being anchored in fullness within. And then the other experience being, I know my value and my worthiness, and I know what I have to offer, and I know my skills and talents, and I know who I truly am, and I know that when I'm authentically expressing myself, that feels like it's me being alive. It's full of aliveness. It feels joyful. It feels expansive. It feels like it liberates me from the inside out. And therefore, with the knowing of that in my body and being on that frequency, I can no longer accept and tolerate circumstances or situations, connections, relationships in my environment that are not a reflection of that or that do not align with the truth that I'm feeling is unfolding from within me. Do drop a comment, let me know which one of those you're currently experiencing to add some value here, to start some of the discussion. Is it that you're feeling a resistance, if you are, to what's going on in the external in an attempt to control? If you acknowledge anything going on within you, awareness is a powerful step to make to come to a breakthrough, to anchor in new energy, to be the frequency that you require? Or is it that you feel, I'm really feeling things fall away or collapsing and crumbling because I have this new energy activated within me and it feels like everything in my reality is crumbling, or I'm going through obstacle after obstacle or challenge after challenge because my reality is calibrating to the new me, and there's a mismatch almost of I know my value and the outside reality is just not quite matched up to me yet. And why am I having all of these experiences that are just not a reflection of my truth? It's not making much sense. Perhaps you may have that experience. You certainly have and can go there. And on the evolving journey, on being on an elevator, we're not on a linear timeline in terms of time, or we're not. That's the logical mind of expectation of if I A, then B will happen, and then C outcome will be brought about. That's that's not necessarily the case, although we can apply the law of assumption and expect that what we believe to happen is unfolding, and through the power of our thoughts and mind and energy to see that line up for us. It still just comes down to a game of energetics and frequency and vibration, and being in a certainty and a knowing in your energy, in your body, that you're elevating. So rather than going step by step through a process in a linear fashion, you're simply going up the elevator, potentially not able to see what's going on out there outside of you, just with the knowing whatever's happening, what's falling away, whatever darkness is out there, um, anything, I'm going up. And that's all I know within my own energy. There's just a knowing inside of me. And when you do have that knowing, you'll be living a life of understanding jumping timelines and quantum physics, quantum jumping, and how you don't necessarily have to follow the societal pathways of go to university, get a certification, get a job, do an internship in this place, then move up the ladder, get promoted, da da da, when you can access a version of you in the quantum field who already is and has and experiences and lives what you are desiring as the end result. And you can access and merge with that version of you and live from the end and live from your success and live from the feeling state of already being and having that, and reverse engineer it and show up and provide your value in how you do that. I was speaking to someone who was sharing how they were going through navigating, and many will experience that at this time of the year, coming into the summer months. Lots of young students are taking exams, or maybe feeling at this moment in time, we'll say this time of year, spring in the Northern Hemisphere, questioning their next steps, as in what they're studying, where they're going, who they want to be, what role they want to take on in society, how they want to contribute, how they want to add value, and in that way, how they can create, generate, formulate, cultivate, nurture their own security and stability financially and more, in having some sense of a stable life. And even that in itself, the security and stability, is something that you generate within you in your own frequency, and holding that and anchoring it into your body and having that energy behind the things that you do, and a knowing and uncertainty, and I'm safe, I'm secure, everything's always working out for me. You don't necessarily have to take the societal steps to generating and creating that for you. So a client was talking to me about being concerned about their son and navigating the son's resistance to the ways of the world, and how there's the feeling that they're wanting to be the cycle breaker in allowing their child to have the freedom of expression and to follow their dreams and to pursue their passions and interests, and to allow the resistance in terms of saying no to what you know is not for you, what's unaligned, misaligned, it doesn't feel it's in resonance with the truth of who you are, while letting go of any of the fear of repercussions or consequences you may feel that will come up in the cause and effect of, if I don't do this, something will happen. Again, that is a construct in a belief system. When you can apply the law of assumption of, if I follow myself and my truth and my heart, everything has to line up for me, because then I'm being more me. And the more I'm me, the more the universe provides for me, because I'm being true to myself. And when I'm true to myself, the universe is true to me, because that is mirrored back to me. So we were breaking this down and getting to how, paradoxically, I was seeing a wounding within this parental figure, of how he was denied the freedom and liberty and permission to follow his path and truth and voice, and allowed to be the true full expression of himself when he was that age, when he was pursuing his interests. And therefore that limitation is coming around in a cycle of imposing a limitation on the next generation, because it assumes that that's what you do. And there was a resistance in him because there's an awareness of, I don't want to carry on that cycle. I want to give my child the liberty to be themselves authentically. But a part of me, because of my social programming and conditioning in society, is concerned or worried because of how you were trying to get your head around, your child will be anchored or stable or safe because what systems will be in place, what will support them pursuing their own path, which is going into the unknown, where you literally cannot see anything apart from following your own inner guidance, knowing that the universe is carving the path for you, is bringing things to you, that the way is being revealed to you as you go and you anchor in your security and safety within your own body. It can be mind boggling, it can be tricky for people to get their heads around, but the opportunity was there to bring love to that situation and unattachment, to disconnect from the emotional charge that you may apply or attach to a situation that you have resistance to, or where there's an old narrative or story there, and to break that chain, to break the ancestral pattern, to say, I'm concerned and worried about you simply because I want the best for you. And I know that that energy doesn't support you right now. I simply want you to be happy because I love you. That can just really diffuse and neutralize it. It can help create through vulnerable expression a leaning in intimacy and vulnerability and authenticity and in connection, rather than placing expectations or repeating patterns and habits and the mental constructs that have been passed down to us, to zoom out and observe, how am I replaying things and how can I be the change. And this is so important in terms of frequency overall, that if there's something in your reality that you're feeling you don't prefer, rather than being in the energy of resistance and pushing back towards it and saying, well, this is what I don't want, to be the energy of what you do want. So, what would you want to create and experience, and to pour your energy into that and say, rather than repeating the cycles of not having the permission to be me and passing that on to my child, I want to lovingly give my child the permission to be themselves fully expressed on their own terms, because that was what I needed, that's what I wanted to be given. And through my understanding and awareness and love for my own son, I give them the love that I felt I didn't receive. And through the act and intention of doing that, you are the love that you needed to receive, and then a healing can take place within you. This is making me feel emotional now. It's bubbling up, a lot of energy coming into my body. But being the energy of what you have ever perceived to have been missing or wrong or bad, or what you want to change, this is the same kind of thing with the energy of revenge. This is a resistance. When you are just being the antidote to what it is you don't like, then you can create and generate more of what you do prefer through you being that energy in your own body. And this is where there's value in having awareness. There's value in alchemizing things within you. There's value in creating the value of what you want to experience within your own energy body, activating it, what it is that you want to create, getting to understand why certain patterns are playing out. If you feel something's been happening on a loop, if you consistently have money issues, perhaps to look at why that keeps happening, keep asking why, go 5 layers deep with why, because then I'm perpetuating lack. So why is there lack? Oh, because when I grew up we never had whatever. And why was that? Because there was a belief system there of this. So why did that happen? And just getting down to it. And we don't always have to go to the absolute root of everything, like really putting a strain on ourselves, but to just come into acceptance of how it's not a truth, that we are the meaning makers, and you can apply a new meaning to things and say, the reason why this situation is coming up in my life is because I'm in a resistance and I'm not in a flow of my energy. which is what we can apply to most things and say, if I just let go, if I breathe and let energy flow in my body and say, I give love to the situation. How can I be love? How can I put value out there? How can I get out of my own head and go help someone else? And from my heart space, from noble intention, know that through adding that value out there, that is abundance, that generates abundance, that you're provided for. But reconnecting back into, if you're taking exams or confused about your life purpose and the job or role that you're in, and perhaps even wanting to pivot or switch in career choice and how you add value to the world, to calibrate to the value that you have within you, to activate more value within your own energy, to activate how you can show up in the world in providing value and offering value, in allowing yourself to be divinely inspired by how you can help someone else somehow, and allow your fulfillment and your joy, your money as well, and everything coming to you be a byproduct of that value generated within you and broadcasted and given and shared and put out there in the way that delights you in mind, body, and soul, in the way that resonates, the way that can even be effortless ease, the way that can just feel so natural, and that you're in alignment with rhythms of nature. You are naturally being you and not in resistance with yourself, with who you are, and with your value. Simply embodying the value of what you have to offer and to share and to put it out there, knowing that you're abundantly provided for. I was getting an image this morning, last night, of a fountain, and this was coming to me on a walk earlier this morning, so I'm now being guided to share it. Is if your water is cleansed and filtered and pure, and it just overflows, it provides beautiful, crystalline, clear energy water for others to drink from, and you're constantly replenished. Yet, if your waters are murky or not pure, then it doesn't offer or provide something that has tremendous value in the way it's healthy and nurturing for others to benefit from and to enjoy in a healthy way, in a nourishing way, in a fulfilling and sustainable way. So there can be the need to at times say no, to turn off that water flow, to filter, to purify within us, to purify our own waters, to speak more lovingly and kindly to our own selves, to recognize our own value, to pour into our own inherent value, so that our resplendent, clear, nourishing, crystallized, beautiful water can flow again in how it offers value, in how it shows up, and how it gives to the world in contribution, and allowing that to constantly pour back into you. I hope that this message resonates and supports someone who may be considering questioning perhaps their own value and how they can show up in the world to share value, and to know that simply choosing to be more loving of yourself is incredibly valuable, because the ripple effect of that ripples out. Walking past someone in the street and smiling at them is adding value in how it offers the opportunity to raise vibrations, to create connection, to create love. I personally believe that we're all truly here to experience greater love and connection, and that it starts within us, in our own waters, in how we can be these beautiful, resplendent, replenishing fountains of love, of connection, of health, of abundance, of joy, in how we are incredibly valuable and show value. Please drop a comment, let me know what you're reflecting on as being a new way, perhaps in this new spring, new year, to add value somehow, and in how that value can come back to you in allowing you to value your own life in new ways, and to enjoy your life even more, and to fill up your own cup, and to add value from an even higher vibration at the next level, the next frequency. how that may make you feel, how that may allow energy to bubble up in your body and make you excited, inspired, get curious and playful like a little child on an adventure of what you could create and put out there that adds incredible value to us all. Thank you for doing that. See you in the next video. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. That's for that.